This project is called a Notan, and it is a Japanese art form involving the interplay of light and dark, and these will be made of cut paper. Here's kind of a geometric kind of example. You'll start to notice that by looking at these, that the artists started with a black square of paper, a small black square. The designs were cut into the squares, and every piece is kept. So this is a very efficient and economical art form. And you can kind of start to see how the designs are made. So you can see that every piece that is cut out of the black is saved and pasted on the outside of the square, kind of in a mirror image format. And all four sides of the squares can be cut. And you can do interesting things with negative space and positive space. Like in this one, you immediately see a tree, but then there's kind of a surprising use of space here with this skeleton face. They can just be kind of a general see what happens kind of a pattern like this. These are just kind of curvy shapes. And as complicated as you can make it with scissors. So your assignment is to sketch some ideas on scratch paper or notebook paper, any just extra paper that you have. And you'll start with your square of black paper that was given to you in your art materials. And you'll just first use pencil to draw shapes onto the black square that you plan to cut out, because you can't really mess up on this. You have to be pretty confident with your cuts once you get to the cutting stage. And you'll need to save every little piece you cut out of the black square because everything is used. And then you'll use a glue stick to glue down the design to white paper. And I'm going to demo this from start to finish next. The materials that you'll need for this are the small black square of paper and the 9x12 white piece of paper. And grab any scissors that you have at your house. I have a standard size pair of scissors, and if you have any small scissors at your house that are like from a fingernail kit or something like that, these come in really handy for this project. And then just a pencil and an eraser too. Oh wait, and a glue stick. I forgot glue stick, but I'll get that in a minute. So the first step for your Notan is to think about your design and just use pencil to kind of sketch where you're gonna make the cuts. So I think on mine, I'm gonna do kind of an underwater theme, and I wanna have an octopus, and I'm gonna try the half on black, half white kind of look for the octopus. So I'm gonna kind of draw half an octopus. And with Notans, you want to kind of go into the center of the paper. Don't be too timid on your designs. You do want to get out into the middle of the square. It'll be more interesting. And I think I'll do some bubbles. Do a bubble half on, half off. These will be a little bit hard to cut out, but I'll do my best. Okay, I think that's going to be my basic design, and I am ready to cut. I'm going to start with my small scissors just because I do have them available and it will make cutting small details easier. So I'm going to start with the octopus. And the trick with cutting on these is you need to cut very precisely and carefully because you save everything you cut. So there is no waste in a Notan. So every single thing you cut out, you're going to be gluing into the design. So there's nothing wasted. There's a trick for doing small circles, and it's just to kind of cut into the black, and then when you glue it down, it won't really show that you made that cut. I'll show you what I mean in a second. See, you can't really tell that I cut right there just to get that, that eye out. So keep going with some of the bubbles here. And this gets a little bit scary because you don't want to lose anything that you cut. So be really careful with your tiny pieces if you have tiny pieces in your design. So for internal things like these bubbles, I'm going to cut them out by kind of taking the shortest path over to the circle for my cut, because there's no way that I could probably cut it out without making an entry cut like this. So it's okay to do that if you have to. Okay, so everything is cut. It's a hot mess right now, but I'm gonna go grab glue and get to that step. Okay, so you might have created a bit of a puzzle for yourself, and that is okay. So the first thing to do when kind of trying to figure out your design again is to get it kind of laid out correctly. And at this point, if you have, a good eraser on the end of your pencil or another eraser, go ahead and get any pencil lines off of your black paper that you can, because it's a better final product if you don't have pencil lines. And if you've ever gotten eraser bits into glue before, you know how annoying that is. So do the erasing right now before the gluing. Okay. So I'm going to kind of glue my main piece down first. And I know that on my design, I'm gonna kind of center it onto the paper a little bit low because I know that mine's a more wide design, and then I'll have bubbles kind of coming up here. So I'm just gonna eyeball it, but I think it could be maybe about right there for a cool look. I think that'll be enough glue, but not too much. So notice how I put the glue on the black pieces. It's gonna be cleaner if you attempt to do that, so that's my recommendation, but it is difficult. I do recognize that this gets very difficult. And it actually helps to have fingernails a little bit. Okay,